Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you
Sit
both.
on the outside to make sure I'm behind the Penn State helmet.
There you go. Thank you both for joining us. Is this working? Is it? Okay. Take just a quick couple of seconds to welcome our distinguished guest, Coach McClendon, Coach Franklin. Thank you both for being here. We're excited about the opportunity for the 71st annual bowl game to be played here, to have these two great teams. Obviously, you've only played one time in the history, so that makes it a kind of a history-making event, and it was for the national championship. So we're not crowning national championships this year, but we're going to crown a champion of the bowl. So we're very excited. I want to take just a couple of quick seconds to introduce some people in the audience. Our chairman, Heather Duncan. Chairman, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. The chairman of our sports council, Carl Cannon. And then representatives from the TaxSlayer.com people. So we appreciate y'all being here very much. David, thank you, both of you, for being here. We're excited about having the 71st game, and thank you for your sponsorship, Stephen. It's been great, and we're appreciative of everything that you do and everything your company does for us. So thanks for both of you being here. We're going to do this. We're going to talk just a little bit, and then we'll let the media ask some questions, and then we'll let the general audience have a few questions before we get out of here and go to the luncheon. So good year. Played great.
Very good year, and want to take a moment to thank you for this opportunity. Want to thank TaxSlayer.com. Just our players are ecstatic about being here. Such a great bowl game, such a great venue in the city, and then obviously the history with Georgia. I think our fans are really excited to play a program like Georgia, and it's just a great opportunity. So we're very appreciative of the opportunity. I appreciate you wearing your variations of blue, your Penn State blue. I question your tie choice, sir, but yeah, we're very excited about being here.
Coach, I got to tell you, we're so excited about having the Big Ten in our game, and we had Iowa last year, and now to have an opportunity with a history and tradition of Penn State. We actually talked about it in the office when we were going through the selection. We think we've got the best two uniforms in college football for sure. Your traditional, beautiful uniforms, and we're very impressed and very proud to have your program here. So thank you.
We couldn't be more excited. Obviously, Penn State's a special place, has been for a very long time. Our fans are very passionate. I'm familiar with the conference that Coach comes from, and I think our Penn State fans, they're going to bring passion. They're going to bring excitement, and they're going to be excited about playing an unbelievable program like Georgia.
Great, thanks, Coach Mack.
Yep.
Head coach.
Yep.
Interim.
Yes, sir.
Well, we're glad to have you, and we're very excited to have the University of Georgia playing our game. And again, I saw some of the ESPN people pick this one as the best helmet in college football. So we're very impressed. You play here every year, and we enjoy very much the neutral site game that you play here. But it's always a very big pleasure to have your team come back and an opportunity to win 10 games, finish second in the East, and had a great year, and we're looking forward to continuing that year here in Jacksonville. So I'll let you say a few words.
Absolutely. Well, first again, just want to thank you guys for having us. I tell you what, just the opportunity to be able to play in a bowl game, and then be able to come back down here to Jacksonville to be able to play in the TaxSlayer Bowl game. I think everybody was kind of excited. Everybody was, ecstatic, obviously, about playing against Penn State. You look at these bowls, and then you try to see, okay, what games are really going to be exciting, and there's no doubt that we feel like this one is. And just the tradition of both schools, just like you mentioned, Rick, but the first time that we played was, the first time that each team played was in a national championship. And then, get a chance to come back down here and follow up with the national championship game, between those meetings. I think everybody is going to kind of have everybody excited a little bit as well. But again, just going back to thank you all. We're ecstatic about being here. Ecstatic about to get a chance to play against a great tradition, great team, and we know, obviously Coach Franklin, he's very familiar with us, and the job that he did, not only that he's doing now, but the job he did at Vanderbilt, and that conference was, was almost second to none. It really was, and so, but we're excited about being here and look forward to that week and the game.
Coach, you've been there 2 years. It's starting to come up. You can sure tell the difference in players. I noticed that you said at the press conference about the scholarship limitations I think you're finally getting through with those this year, and now you'll have a full contingent. How do you see the future of your program?
Well, it's very bright. First of all, I want to thank our seniors. Our seniors are a special group of guys that will be remembered at Penn State forever. You think about all the things that those guys have been through in 5 years. I'm the 5th head coach in 27 months there. You think about all the things that our seniors have been through and how they have flourished academically, how they've made an unbelievable impact in the community, and how we're in a position we're going to be going to bowl games 2 years in a row after going through some really trying situations. So these guys will be remembered forever at Penn State, and I think a guy that's a great example of that. Carl Nassib, our All-American defensive end, who started out as a walk-on at Penn State, is winning a bunch of awards right now. Won the award last night, the Lombardi Award. So I think he's just a great example of our players, how they've kept a great attitude, how they've persevered, and how they've been very appreciative of the opportunity they've had at Penn State. So bright things in our future, and we're looking at this game as an opportunity to go out and compete against a great opponent, but hopefully propel us into a great offseason and a great season next year.
It really is about the kids. They what they go through and what they sacrifice and how hard they work and everything. And then we kind of get the clutter that kind of gets in the way with all that other stuff that's out there. But the one thing that I do know about your program is that your kids have stuck together. They've gone through a coaching change, a transition as they go through it. But you've got some kids that are also seniors that have done an unbelievable job while they were at the University of Georgia, and I'll let you talk a little bit about that.
Absolutely. I mean, our seniors have a chance to win their 40th game at the University of Georgia, which is especially in today's society of college football and today's culture of college football, it's not very easy to do, especially in the league that we play in and the competition that we play against. But those guys, and not so much those guys, but just everybody in general in the building has done a great job with kind of everything that's going on even during the season when Coach Rick was still there. But of making it about those kids and making sure that everybody did a great job of understanding that, that those guys are the people that matter. And as long as you make it right for them, then kind of everything else will kind of fall in line. And I mean, very, very similar to the situation that I know Coach had to walk into up there at Penn State. I mean, it's not easy. It's not easy to kind of deal with all, like you said, all the clutter. But I think if, one of the things that we talk about is keeping the main thing the main thing. And if you keep the main thing, then all the other things kind of fall into place. So, but those seniors, they've done a tremendous job of fighting through, pushing through. Those guys know what it takes to be successful, and do a great job of holding people accountable, which is half of it. It really does. It really makes our jobs a little bit easier as coaches.
Well, we know that we've got clearly two of the best conferences, two great teams playing in our bowl game, but we do have a little bit of extra riding on this game. If you guys had not been told, the state of Florida is proud to host 3 Big Ten SEC matchups. So I think the nation will be kind of looking at that and seeing which one of these two conferences comes out ahead. We did that about 5 years ago to set this up so that we'd have the ability to do that. So just don't forget, you're playing for Penn State or Georgia, but you're also working hard for your conference. And so we're glad to have both of you here and both of your conferences represented. So with that, I would give an opportunity for the media to ask any questions. I know that Gary's going to have some. Gary Smits from the Florida Times Union. Gary?
I guess one of you is going to get a chance to think about this a little bit longer than the other one, but I'll start with Coach McClendon. When somebody says Penn State football, what immediately leaps to mind for you?
Tradition. Tradition, very hard-nosed, guys that always are going to keep playing, whether they're down by 50 or up by 50. I mean, those guys just continuously play hard, very, very sound fundamentally. And you think about, guys that had to push through a bunch of the clutter like we talked about, and which makes a team very mentally tough. And teams that are mentally tough are hard to beat. Because, no matter what, to them, they're never down enough. And no matter what, they always have a chance. So that's what the first thing that strikes us when you think about Penn State.
Coach Franklin, you had the personal experience of going against Georgia also. With that perspective, and then just knowing college football like you do, what's the first thing that comes to mind when somebody tells you Georgia football? I think a tradition of excellence, number one. The other thing that jumps into my mind is Herschel Walker, and I'm glad he won't be playing in the game. Although we were just talking, it seems like the University of Georgia goes out and recruits the best running back in the country year after year, and I always say that there's no way they're going to sign another one, and coach and their staff will go out and find another great player. But great players, tradition of excellence both on and off the field. Consistency. I think that's one of the other things that I think of when I think of Georgia. The consistency in their uniform. We have the best helmet in college football, but the consistency in their uniform. They don't need to change. You see that G, everybody knows what it is. You see the white helmet with the stripe, you know what that is. And I think one of the things I'm really looking forward to is our staff being able to spend some time with coaches' staff and get to know those guys, and then our players. We got a bunch of special guys, and I think one of the great things about college football is not only competing on the field, but also building relationships. And our players will be at events with the Georgia players and getting to know those guys a little bit better. There's some guys that are on Georgia's program that we recruited and lost out to Georgia, so I'll look forward to seeing those guys as well. But to me, the whole experience. Bowl games are great because of the whole experience, how the communities kind of rally around the teams that are coming in, and for our players to be able to experience something maybe they haven't experienced before, Jacksonville and the community. So really looking forward to that.
That's great. Gary, you got any more?
Actually, I just had one more. I think the guy wants me to use the mic.
We can hear you.
Just very briefly, is defense going to be an important part of this game? Do you think this game has the potential to be a defensive struggle? Ask both of you.
No, defense won't be important in this game at all.
Never is.
Yeah.
But do you think it will be a defensive type game?
Yeah, I think if you look at our defensive numbers and the things that we've been able to do, and the fact we talked about Carl Nassib, we didn't have our starting defensive end Carl for the last 3 games of the year. Coach was joking, saying he doesn't need to play this game either. But I think that'll factor. We've played really good. And I expect they're going to as well. They've done that all year long. So I actually think the opposite. I think you can take for granted that the defenses are gonna play well. It's going to be special teams, and it's going to be offense finding ways to make plays and try to get some points on the board.
Same. I think in any good team, you got to have a defense, very good defense, and you got and then not so much that, but those guys, they got a Lombardi Award winner, then they got a first-round quarterback, and then they got a freshman running back who's dynamite too. So just a team is well-rounded as those guys, good players. Obviously, like I said, that allows those guys to be very, very solid in the kicking teams as well. I think all that stuff is important. All that stuff is going to go into it, but definitely defense is going to be an important part of the game.
Any other member of the media? Yes, sir.
Thanks. Rob Riva, FightOnState.com. Coach Franklin, it's been a while since Penn State has been in Jacksonville for a bowl game, but there's certainly a lot of history with the predecessor bowl, the Gator Bowl, and Penn State. It was Coach Paterno's first bowl game coach as head coach in 1967. What does the history of this bowl game and Penn State mean for the team and for you and in preparation for the game on January 2nd?
I think history is important. We're aware of history. We study history. And I think if you look at Penn State with the amount of success that we've had in really both programs, this bowl obviously is special to us. But for us, our focus is on the present and making sure our players, finish this semester really strong academically and then come down here and prepare like crazy to go out and play well. History is important, but, we're focused on today and finding a way to maximize each day, in terms of our preparation for this game and finishing up with recruiting as well. So that we can come down here and play the game the way it's supposed to be played. Blue collar, hard nose, have some fun with some passion and excitement and fly around. One of the things we talk to our players all the time about is I think football's different than a lot of sports where, after this bowl game, there's going to be a large percentage of our players that will never play again. And we only have so much time together as a family. And to me, that's what's special about bowl games. It keeps your family together for a few more months. So I want our guys to go out and enjoy practice and play hard. I want them to enjoy all the events. I want them to not take for granted the time that we spend in the meeting rooms together and all those types of things, because this is what makes football special, is not only the time you spend together, but also that it's fleeting. You stop playing and you don't play again, and a very, very small percentage of these guys will go on to the NFL. So I want to make sure our guys have a great experience from top to bottom. Enjoy the TaxSlayer Bowl and enjoy competing against a great program like the University of Georgia, so that these guys can feel good about what they accomplished here with their experience at Penn State.
Any more questions from the media? Okay, we'll take a couple of questions from the audience. Stephen?
For both coaches, as you guys have plenty of powerhouses and there's great talent from many conferences and teams, how do you look as you build your program coach, obviously what you're going to be doing in the future as well, try and get to that next level where you're truly competing for a national championship again, talent, obviously some luck breaks, but it's so hard these days. How does a coach be able to maintain, because ultimately it's why you went to Penn State, I'm sure, coach, and you're at Georgia, and your future's bright, of course. How do you kind of go to that next level to say, okay, we can truly compete for a national championship like a few other programs are doing right now?
Go ahead, Coach.
I think it starts by studying programs that have been successful, studying Penn State, study a lot of the programs across the country that have been successful. I think consistency on your coaching staff is really, really important. I think getting everybody aligned. If you look at, no different in college football and any other organization, it's making sure that the president, the AD, the head football coach, the administration, the board, everybody's pulling the rope in the same direction. Everybody understands the plan, everybody understands the vision, and everybody's working together to provide an unbelievable experience for our student athletes. It's development. It's professional development of your staff. It's development of your players, academically, athletically, socially, spiritually, the whole package. And then it's about finding ways to be successful. Everybody focuses on the results, of what happens on Saturday on the field or what happens Friday in the classroom with the exam, but it's about the preparation ahead of time. So all those things are important. And the funny thing about being a college football coach, every single one of those areas is important, and you can't overlook one. And then, the other thing that we know is important is going out and recruiting the right people on the front end. Not only good players, but good people and great students that want to truly get an education. The whole package, because it's amazing, it's amazing how this works. But good people that are really good football players, the plays seem to work better when you have those guys. It just works out that way. And we're fortunate. We have some really, really good players at Penn State and good people, and we just want to continue building on that.
I don't want to get into kind of repeating a lot of the same thing that Coach said, but I do think all of those things are important. The one thing that I'll just kind of highlight some things that he said, just to answer the question. But definitely the one thing is going to be recruiting. You have to do a great job in the evaluation process, and like you said, make sure guys are made up the right way. And today's society, and I know, me and Coach can probably have a 3-hour conversation on this. It is so easy for kids to kind of come into college now with skewed views of what success is, and even why they play a team sport of football, because everything is kind of made about them getting into that, get into the time that they get into school. So, you have to tell them, hey, that you got to kind of break this mold of what society has become of, hey, it's all about me, and now it's about the guys next to me, and how their success should be more important to me than my success is. And so I think, the minute that you get guys, kind of everybody pulling in that direction from the administration down, that's when I think special things happen. And I know Coach kind of said all that in another way, but that would I would say I would kind of highlight the biggest thing about that.
Any other questions? Okay, well, we're going to let the media have one-on-ones, if that's okay with you guys, for just a few minutes before we head down to the luncheon. And again, I want to thank you for bringing your programs to our city, and I will assure you that the red carpet will be rolled out and that our volunteers are so excited about having your two programs here. And we just embrace you and are glad you're here, and good luck in the game, and enjoy Christmas, and we'll see you back here probably around the 28th or 29th, and we look forward to having an opportunity to meet your players too, because we've heard a lot of great things about your players. Your success and graduation rates are both something to be very proud of. So thanks, Coach, for being here.
Thank you so much
Coach,
for the opportunity.
appreciate
Thank you so much.
Absolutely, thank
Yes,
you.
sir.